of Fang Xing's flesh and blood has been greatly increased after being tempered. Not only Fang Xing is stronger than ordinary cultivators this time. In addition to Lao Ju, the quality of Fang Xing's spiritual energy is 3 times better than theirs. Nevertheless, Fang Xing said that he has the strength of someone in the 5th level of spirit movement when he is actually in the 4th level. This quenching body secret technique of the true Samadhi fire is really godly. However, Lao Ju handed a bottle of elixir to Fang Xing and he told him that although other cultivators on the same level as Fang Xing do not have spiritual energy as pure as him, Fang Xing instantly thanked Lao Ju. Then he asked him what's good about that day's elixir. While Fang Xing was eating the elixir, Lao Ju told him that they don't waste his money and eat all the demon pills and elixirs that he had been storing for 300 years and 6 months. I'll help you throw away this empty bottle, you're welcome, Fang Xing stated. However, Lao Ju told him to forget it and said that since Fang Xing managed to learn the quenching body technique, then the resources Lao Ju have used weren't all for nothing. In addition to Lao Ju, he told Fang Xing that in the future, remember to always use the true Samadhi fire to temper his body because Fang Xing's spiritual energy will be more refined than others and the same techniques Fang Xing used will be more powerful than others. In this way, Fang Xing will have the foundation to be a combat cultivator. As per Fang Xing, he got it so Lao Ju doesn't need to worry and he told him that he will make sure to cultivate the true forging technique often when he returns to the inner sect. However, Lao Ju asked him about who said that Fang Xing can return to the inner sect. Fang Xing was also confused by what Lao Ju stated. At this moment, Lao Ju ordered Fang Xing to follow him down the mountain to cultivate. While Lao Ju and Fang Xing were riding a flying cloud, Fang Xing asked Lao Ju why he can't train on the mountains and why he had to come with this elder. However, Lao Ju told him that Fang Xing can only cultivate on the mountains. Fang Xing needs to return to the earthly world to train. In addition to Lao Ju, Fang Xing cannot escape from training if he wants to become a fighter. Nevertheless, Fang Xing asked again if there is any difference between training and cultivating. With an instant, Lao Ju told him that Fang Xing can gain a strong physique by cultivating, but Fang Xing can only gain battle instincts and fighting skills from training. He also told Fang Xing that he also needed resources to become a fighter. Nonetheless, Fang Xing said that he got it. Then he asks the elder again if he is going to teach Fang Xing some fighting skills. However, Lao Ju told him that he had prepared a whole set of training techniques, so Fang Xing can get the strongest fighting skills in the shortest amount of time, and also obtain a large number of resources. Fang Xing instantly asked Lao Ju about the technique, so Lao Ju told him that it's down there. But Fang Xing said that what's the difference since it's just a lake like clear spring. All of a sudden, Lao Ju kicked Fang Xing's back. That causes the kid to fall. Fang Xing was really angry at Lao Ju since he did this again and he even called the man a white-haired old booger. But Lao Ju was confused about the white-haired old booger. However, Fang Xing asked Lao Ju why he kicked him off. So Lao Ju explained to Fang Xing that there's a snake beast in that lake that always destroys ships and eats innocent people. According to Lao Ju, it is called the Jade Dragon King out of respect and fear. But it's just a green snake beast that's reaching the 6th rank. Then he told Fang Xing that he needs to execute it. That way, Fang Xing can train his battle instincts and also obtain very rare resources. The snake's demon elixir is a valuable opportunity. This is the training technique you mentioned. I'm only at the 4th level of spirit movement, but you want me to execute it or feed it, Fang Xing angrily stated. Nonetheless, Lao Ju told him that Fang Xing can find thousands of excuses if he doesn't want to do it that day. But if Fang Xing meets an enemy in the future that Fang Xing can't escape from, Fang Xing only has one chance at life. Instantaneously, Fang Xing realized what Lao Ju said. Then Lao Ju threw some talisman to Fang Xing and he told him to use that talisman if he were about to lose and it can save Fang Xing's life. But Lao Ju also told him that if he uses it, that means Fang Xing has nothing special. In addition to Lao Ju, he told Fang Xing that at that point, there would be no need to follow Lao Ju anymore and Fang Xing could return to being an inner disciple of the sect. But Fang Xing just raises his hands and showed his fist. Then all of a sudden, Fang Xing swam into the lake without taking the talisman that was given by Lao Ju. That little brat, he really went in without taking it, Lao Ju stated. At this moment, Fang Xing dived directly under the lake, and he was wondering where he was supposed to find a snake in such a large lake. But at the back of Fang Xing's mind, danger can never be overcome without taking risks. While Fang Xing was observing his surroundings, a terrifying and enormous eye suddenly appeared on the scene. While Fang Xing was holding a knife, all of a sudden, a huge lake monster is approaching to eat him. However, according to Lao Ju, this fear is so familiar to him. Nevertheless, at the back of Fang Xing's mind, He had no regrets if he really died this time. Then he encourages the monster to come to him. At the moment, while this huge monster is about to swallow Fang Xing, blood suddenly appeared in the lake, and time goes by. Fang Xing continued to execute more and more monsters. 3 years later, at the present time, while Lao Ju was standing, Fang Xing called him again a white-haired old booger. Then Fang Xing asked him what they were going to do next. So, you're that eager to fight? Lao Ju stated. Nonetheless, Fang Xing said not really. Then he asked Lao Ju again if he still thinks Fang Xing needs battle experience considering how many he had been in during the past 3 years. Fang Xing growed up and his appearance changed a lot. It looks like he's not a kid anymore. However, Fang Xing stated that if he's not under the sea fighting evil dragons, he's in the mountains fighting tiger beasts, and Lao Ju even threw him into the deserted lands of the north to appreciate the moon with evil ghosts last mid-autumn. Then Fang Xing had to stay with the zombies in the south during the Kixi Festival. Kixi Festival is the day of the annual meeting of Xinu and Niulang in Chinese mythology. And he also got chased by a 7-colored phoenix because Lao Ju also forced him to rob some weird 1,000 magic gallon that it was protecting. But Fang Xing didn't finish his words and Lao Ju told him that since Fang Xing has been in so many battles, if it's a 7th rank beast, he asked Fang Xing if he would fight it. Instantaneously, Fang Xing said, as always. However, Lao Ju said not bad. And he told Fang Xing that even though Fang Xing's cultivation stayed at the 4th level of spirit movement, after the training these past years, the spiritual energy inside Fang Xing's body has reached the 7th level of spirit movement. So Fang Xing no longer has to be afraid even if it's a 7th rank beast. But I'm just saying, you can't leave me alone if I get seriously hurt. Last time you left me alone in the enraged zombie mob that I almost lost my brains to, Fang Xing stated. However, Lao Ju told him that he had never truly abandoned Fang Xing. Then Lao Ju suddenly gave this jade pendant to Fang Xing, and after that, Lao Ju told him to keep it safe because when the time comes, Fang Xing can take it to make a family. Fang Xing was startled by what Lao Ju said. In addition to Lao Ju, in the future, Fang Xing can use that jade pendant as a keepsake to marry 9 beautiful and noble Taoist partners. Or maybe 10, Lao Ju can't say. Marry 10? Did you go crazy? Fang Xing stated. However, Lao Ju was confused and he told Fang Xing that it is a free gift. Then he asked Fang Xing if he's not happy about it. No, how would such a good thing be free even? And 10 wives? What kind of people are they? Stated by Fang Xing. Nevertheless, Lao Ju asked Fang Xing why he is asking so many questions. Then he told him to just keep the jade pendant and Fang Xing will know when the time is ripe. Instantaneously, Fang Xing asked the elder when he knew that the time was ripe. Then Lao Ju told him that when they won't execute Fang Xing before he goes to the sect, or Fang Xing can escape when they try to execute him. However, Fang Xing told him that it's Lao Ju's enemy. Then he asked Lao Ju, isn't that just asking Fang Xing to take revenge for Lao Ju? Lao Ju grabbed Fang Xing's shoulder. Then he told him that he don't need Fang Xing to take revenge for him. After that, he told Fang Xing to just marry his wife. At this moment, Fang Xing surrendered to Lao Ju and he told him that he will believe Lao Ju for the time being. Then they suddenly fly away. Meanwhile, Fang Xing asked Lao Ju why he suddenly sped up so fast. He also asked the elder if they're back. Nonetheless, according to Lao Ju, 3 years have passed, so it's time for Fang Xing to return to his original path. However, in this scene, while these groups of birds were flying, one of them was out of control and suddenly fell. Fortunately, this elderly bird managed to save the little one, and they continually fly away. Lao Ju advised Fang Xing to be vigilant because the road of cultivation will be long and difficult. But Fang Xing thought that Lao Ju was going to say something important. Then he told this elder that they are both in the Qingyun sect anyway, so Fang Xing can see him anytime. After that, Fang Xing asked Lao Ju why he's so serious, but Lao Ju just ignored him. Nevertheless, Fang Xing asked Lao Ju if he wanted Fang Xing to call him master before Lao Ju left. With an instant, Lao Ju said sure. Then he commanded Fang Xing to kneel down and call him master. But Fang Xing said that it was so unreasonable, and Fang Xing didn't want a master like that anymore. Nonetheless, Lao Ju laughed at what Fang Xing said. I'm going to leave now, white-haired master, Fang Xing stated. Then he told Lao Ju that he will bring some wine to see Lao Ju next time. But according to Lao Ju, in the end, he's just only using Fang Xing to achieve his own goal. Then he said to just consider this as an exchange. But all of a sudden, Lao Ju's core has been broken, and his spiritual power was depleted. So at this moment, Lao Ju was confused if his time had already come. According to Lao Ju, He had planned to teach Fang Xing for a few more years, but he had consumed too much spiritual power from healing Fang Xing's wounds that night. Lao Jiu never thought that this day would come so quickly. Nonetheless, at that time, Fang Xing's heart was damaged too much, and if Lao Jiu didn't do anything, Fang Xing would not have survived. But in order to completely heal without leaving any hidden wounds, Lao Jiu had to exhaust the purest spiritual energy in his body. Lao Jiu suddenly vomits blood on the ground. And as per Lao Jiu, there is no point anymore since his golden core has cracked. Even the spiritual energy of the soul-nourishing wood cannot repair it. Then Lao Jiu told himself that this is it for him. In addition to Lao Jiu, since he doesn't have much time left, what's there to be afraid of now? Lao Jiu will sacrifice a little of his lifespan in order to forge a perfect sword embryo. And Lao Jiu just hopes that Fang Xing can harden himself and become someone who can throw the world into complete disorder. Then Lao Jiu stated that he had taught Fang Xing everything he could, so the rest is up to Fang Xing now. Then Lao Jiu threw some talisman in the air as a sign that he called all the elders from different places. And it caused to these elders to get alerted. With an instant, these people arrived in the place where Lao Jiu was. Xiao Shan, elder of Wuzhen Valley. King Nio, elder of Qixia Valley. Tai Ruquang, elder of Duanzhen Valley. Bai Fu, elder of Shuwen Valley. And Chen Xuanhua, sect leader of the Qingyun sect. Lao Jiu told them that, as they all know, Lao Jiu taught that child for 3 years, but unfortunately, he is not fit to inherit his legacy. However, Chen Xuanhua thought that Lao Jiu would be able to leave his inheritance in the sect when Lao Jiu took in a disciple 3 years ago. He also said that who would have thought this would be the outcome. But King Nio told Lao Jiu to not be discouraged, since there are still many talented young disciples in the Fengshan Hall of the Qingyun sect. And he also told him that if Lao Jiu is willing, they will choose a more suitable successor for him. Nevertheless, Lao Jiu told him that there's no need anymore since he has decided to go into seclusion. Instantaneously, Chen Xuanhua was shocked by what Lao Jiu stated, and at the back of his mind, only powerful cultivators that are running out of vitality and have no hope of breakthrough anymore will go into seclusion. They call it going into seclusion, but in fact, it's just waiting for death. At this moment, Chen Xuanhua remembered his past master who also went to the seclusion. Nevertheless, this master told him that there's no need to panic because he knows that his time is up and he can't advance anymore, so going into seclusion is the last thing he can do for the sect. In this way, others will not be able to find out where he's still alive, and those who want to touch the Qingyun sect will be afraid of doing anything. Only in this way can he rest at ease. 800 years later, and Chen Xuanhua is still wondering when he can see his master again. Back in the present time, Chen Xuanhua stated that since Martial Uncle Bai has made his decision, then he must have called them there to tell them something important. With an instant, Lao Jiu told them that he intended to pass down his cultivation technique to all of them. In addition to him, it can also be considered his legacy for the Qingyun sect. Chen Xuanhua was surprised by what Lao Jiu said, and these elders bowed to Lao Jiu and said that they will listen to the teachings of their martial uncle. Nonetheless, Lao Jiu's body was surrounded by gold lights and he recited these techniques: Shattered Spiritual Mechanism Technique, Seizing Fortune Technique, Sky Transforming Art Technique, the Method of Earth Movement Technique, and the Understanding Technique. However, Chen Xuanhua was confused at this moment, and according to him, just by reciting, it already sounds so profound. All of a sudden, he commanded his co-elders to quickly cover their ears. Instantaneously, these elders followed Chen Xuanhua's advice. Then he told them to hurry and retreat. At this moment, Chen Xuanhua told Lao Jiu that since Lao Jiu came to the Qingyun sect 500 years ago, no one in the sect has dared to show any disrespect to him. Then he asked Lao Jiu why he wanted to harm these elders at that moment. Lao Jiu told them that they are the ones who wanted him to leave his legacy there. Then Lao Jiu asked them why they were saying that Lao Jiu was trying to harm them at that moment. All of a sudden, what Martial Uncle Bai recited just now was that family's inherited divine technique, wasn't it? How could a small sect like us dare to covet their martial technique? If it gets out that we learnt the Shattered Spiritual Mechanism Technique, our sect will be destroyed. Even if the Qingyun sect wants to keep this kind of legacy, we won't be able to do it, Chen Xuanhua stated. However, Lao Jiu was just staring at them. Then he told them to forget it. With an instant, Chen Xuanhua thanked Lao Jiu for his understanding. After that, King Nio stated that there's something he would like to ask about that disciple named Fang Xing. Nevertheless, at the back of Chen Xuanhua's mind, if Fang Xing Lao Jiu passed on that technique to Fang Xing, it would be sowing great misfortune for the Qingyun sect. so he told himself that he have to get rid of all the risks in advance. But Lao Ju told them that he wanted to lay a solid foundation for Fang Xing first before passing on the technique. But Lao Ju didn't expect Fang Xing to be so stubborn. In addition to Lao Ju, Fang Xing doesn't listen to the teachings and cannot learn the serious things and instead learn some of the distorted paths that have nothing to do with the martial technique. Chen Xuanhua instantly said that it is Fang Xing who is not blessed and Lao Ju had suffered. Since that is the case, I will be in seclusion from today. Fellow Taoists, things have changed a lot, so farewell, Lao Ju stated. However, Chen Xuanhua told Lao Ju that he doesn't have to be pessimistic. Only one of the 50 paths is gone, so Lao Ju has a chance to break through and be reborn. In addition to Chen Xuanhua, Lao Ju's vitality will be doubled and then Chen Xuanhua will gather all the disciples to welcome Lao Ju again. Then these elders congratulate their martial uncle's seclusion. But all of a sudden, Chen Xuanhua ordered his fellow elders to return to the main peak first. Meanwhile, at the main peak of Qing'an sect, these elders gathered and seemed to have a meeting. Nonetheless, Chen Xuanhua ordered Tai Ruquang to bring Fang Xing there, and Tai Ruquang instantly followed Chen Xuanhua's order. Xiao Shan was trying to confirm to her senior brothers if their martial uncle Lao Ju wouldn't really have passed down the shattered spiritual mechanism technique to Fang Xing. However, Chen Xuanhua hopes that Lao Ju didn't do it. Otherwise, they cannot let Fang Xing stay in the Qing'an sect. Nevertheless, Xiao Shan told Chen Xuanhua that she heard that Fang Xing is frivolous and acts like a rascal. Xiao Shan also said that she was sure that martial uncle Lao Ju didn't. But Xiao Shan didn't finish her words when Chen Xuanhua interrupted her. Then Chen Xuanhua told her co-elders that they must not think that Chen Xuanhua is overly cautious. And according to him, it is a great blessing that their Qing'an sect lives in peace and stability. In addition to Chen Xuanhua, if they are too ambitious and get involved in the fierce wind and waves, they may die without knowing why. After all, in this world, there is still a strong force that can destroy the sect by just a turn of their hands. With an instant, Xiao Shan agreed to what Chen Xuanhua said. And according to her, it is better to be careful for the sake of the sect. At this moment, Tai Ruquang reported to his co-elders that he had brought Fang Xing. Then he showed Fang Xing to them. However, Fang Xing was enraged and he asked Chen Xuanhua about what he wanted since he just took Fang Xing away the moment he came. Chen Xuanhua told his brother Ruquang that he had frightened Fang Xing. Instantaneously, Tai Ruquang told Fang Xing that there is no need to be scared. And he explained to him that they only brought Fang Xing there to ask him a few questions. But Fang Xing seems like he doesn't know these people, so he asks them about their identity. Tai Ruquang instantly hit Fang Xing's head while saying, "Who else? The sect leader has something to ask you, quickly go forward." While Chen Xuanhua was staring at Fang Xing, Chen Xuanhua suddenly smiled. Then he asked Fang Xing if he had learnt any real skills during the 3 years of following martial uncle Lao Ju. Fang Xing answered them right away that of course he had learnt a lot from senior brother Lao Ju. And in addition to Fang Xing, he was a very diligent person. Chen Xuanhua was stunned and got alerted by what Fang Xing stated. In the present time, Xiao Shan stated that it seems that this little disciple must have learned a lot of good things to be so confident. Then he requested Fang Xing to share with these elder what he had learnt. Instantaneously, Fang Xing told them of course, and according to Fang Xing, in the past 3 years, Master Lao Ju has led him around to execute more than 100 demons. However, Chen Xuanhua instantly asked Fang Xing if martial uncle Lao Ju passed down any techniques to him. Then Fang Xing told them yes. These elders obviously got nervous when they heard what Fang Xing said. Nonetheless, Chen Xuanhua immediately asked Fang Xing about what kind of technique. So Fang Xing told them, a part of the Azure Flame True Forging technique. At this moment, Chen Xuanhua tried to confirm to Fang Xing if he was sure and if that is all. After that, Fang Xing told him that he was positive and he was sure. But at the back of Fang Xing's mind, the true Samadhi fire is something he learnt by himself from the decapitation picture. So Fang Xing guess it doesn't count. All of a sudden, Chen Xuanhua extended his hand and uses his power towards Fang Xing. Then he touched the head of Fang Xing to make sure that Fang Xing was telling the truth, and order him to not move and circulate his most powerful spiritual energy at that moment. Nevertheless, Fang Xing followed Chen Xuanhua's order and his body was surrounded by a blue aura. Chen Xuanhua doing his best to find if Fang Xing was telling the truth. But all of a sudden, Chen Xuanhua cannot find anything, so he removed his hand from Chen Xuanhua's head. Then he told Fang Xing that he believed him for now and he may leave the place. How about I teach you guys some fighting techniques? I know a lot about those, Fang Xing stated. With an instant, Tai Rukwing strangled Fang Xing. Then he asked what Fang Xing was talking about, and then he also told Fang Xing that Tai Rukwing will take him back, and they suddenly exit the place using teleportation. However, Chen Xuanhua told King Nio that this matter is under his supervision, so if anyone violates it, he told him to not blame him for the consequences. King Nio instantly agreed with Chen Xuanhua. Meanwhile, in the Qingyun sect Basi Cliff, this disciple on the left asked the man on the right if he decided which cultivation technique he wanted, since he had entered the inner sect for a few days already. However, according to this disciple on the right, he just learnt that the 5 techniques of Qingyun correspond to the 4 valleys in one hall of Qingyun sect. Then he asked his subordinate if he would laugh at him if he said that he wanted to cultivate the Qingyun 9 swords technique and enter the Feng Shen hall. Nevertheless, this disciple on the left told him that it is normal for him to think. And according to this disciple, when he first entered the inner sect, at first glance, the Qingyun 9 swords technique is indeed the strongest martial technique amongst the 5. But in reality, this technique can't earn him resources, and it also consumes a large amount of spirit stones, which makes it not worth it at all. In addition to this man, in the end, those who enter the Feng Shen hall are either geniuses or someone from a wealthy family. Normal people like him are much better off cultivating other techniques. Nonetheless, this disciple told him that he also knows that this idea is not reasonable because up to now, the Feng Shen temple has only received 10 disciples. Then he said that his colleague was right. He also told himself that he is like the others, so he should learn a technique that can make a living for him. All of a sudden, this disciple on the left saw Fang Xing while saying to his colleague, "Hey, look, isn't that the trash Fang Xing? That guy lies here every day drinking and not cultivating. Don't tell me he's just going to stay at Basi Cliff." However, his colleague also stated that people like Fang Xing who can't do anything about refining pills, forging tools, inscribing runes, and studying arrays can only stay there and drink to ease their worries. Accidentally, Fang Xing saw them and said, "What are you looking at? I'll dig out your eyes." Nonetheless, this disciple in the front called Fang Xing a fierce brat, and this disciple was eager to teach Fang Xing a lesson. But his colleague told him not to because there is no point in quarreling with useless trash. More than that, he told his colleague that it would be better for them to just cultivate. Then these 2 disciples walk away. However, according to Fang Xing, in the end, it's all that white-haired master's fault. In the 3 years Fang Xing was fighting demons and Lao Ju didn't bother teaching him basic spells. As a result, not only has Fang Xing broken through, in addition to Fang Xing, he doesn't have a solid grasp of the foundation either and can only borrow some books to try to understand. But he told himself to forget it and he should go step by step, since spells should be learnt slowly, and anyway, Fang Xing will get to his destination sooner or later. Meanwhile, at the Hidden Scriptures Hall, this old man threw something to Fang Xing. Then he told him that only the low-level spell area is open for Fang Xing, and he gave directions to Fang Xing where he could find books. At this moment, Fang Xing